Well, I think
Like volleyball or what?
initially people would work on creating a Mars base, and creating the infrastructure necessary to support life on Mars. So that would take a lot of effort, just as it took a lot of effort to establish the American colonies.
Now, does the ship come back?
Yeah,
When you go to Mars, are you gonna go like, I'm gonna die on Mars? So you take healthy people that are just gonna plan on living the rest of their 30 or 40 years on Mars or something like that?
well, most people would actually, I think most people would go to Mars to move to Mars, but the spaceships would come back because otherwise it would be way too expensive to travel to Mars. So people could choose to come back to Earth if they want, or come back to Earth for a visit or something like
Could
that.
you imagine the first baby born on Mars?
Right, that'd be huge.
That'd be freaky,
Yeah,
right? A lot of pressure for that poor kid.
right.
He'd be a Martian.
The first
The
Martian.
first Martian.
That's right.
Would you go to Mars?
Yeah, I would like to go to Mars. The reason for SpaceX is to enable anyone who goes to Mars, or anyone who wants to go to Mars. So we want to enable people to go to Mars.
Governments or the world government would, or United Nations or something like that would pay to get the people over there because
Yeah.
SpaceX is a for-profit company, obviously. So
SpaceX is with the goal of advancing rocket technology so that eventually we could travel to Mars, and establish a base on Mars, and make life multiplanetary, because I think that's one of the most important things that we could accomplish. In fact, I think it's important enough that it would actually fit on the scale of evolution itself. If you consider the major elements on the scale of evolution, as being the advent of single-celled life, multicellular life, differentiation of plants and animals, life going from the oceans to land, mammals and consciousness. Those are probably the big ones. But I think on that scale would also fit life becoming multiplanetary for the first time. I think it's perhaps at least as important as life going from the oceans to land. And it would, I think, preserve the light of consciousness. The consciousness, the probability of consciousness existing for a long time would be much greater if we were on two planets. If something catastrophic were to happen to Earth, then
Right.
it would, life would still exist on another planet. I mean,
Right.
let's say there was a giant meteor impact, or,
Oh,
or
okay.
a super volcano, or we had sort of a massive nuclear war on Earth, or
Right.
some super virus.
Right.
I mean, there could be something that doesn't necessarily initially destroy human civilization, but knocks it back to a much lower technology level,
Right.
and then there's sort of a decline to eventual extinction.